What is up, my dudes? This is Trent with the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. I am joined by Jordan, and that is it, Jordan. It's just me and you here. I think we got the brains and the humor. Zeke is on the Chargers now, so I thought I had to bust out the Chargers hat. I thought it was appropriate. You've been at basketball practice. I don't know if you knew that happened. Did you see that?
I did not know that happened.
Yeah,
when did that happen?
Like 6:30 Pacific time, 7:30 Pacific time. So it's hot off the press. I was like, you know what? I got to bring out the Chargers hat. I've had a lot of, the Chargers fans reach out to me saying like, hey, you're one of us now. So you know what? I'm just going to, I'll rep the hat right now. I got my Dodgers World Series shirt on, and I'll do that too. So yeah, for Black Monday, there was a lot of stuff that wasn't coaching related that happened. But yeah, they said Zeke's looking for a crack at a playoff run. So
Interesting.
I don't know if that really does anything, if I'm being totally honest, but they gave their backup running back a lot of carries. That was what was that guy's name? The big running back. It's been, maybe that was more when Gus Edwards. No, the other guy. Who's the other guy on the Chargers? Haskins. Yeah, they gave Haskins a decent amount of goal line carries, so maybe there's something Harbaugh sees there. But a lot of NFL stuff going on today, Jordan. I know you're full basketball mode coaching right now, but you saw Tyreek Hill updated his X profile picture. Did you see that?
No, I did not. What did he update it to?
Jordan, is your head in the sand? I think Phil even knows this, and he's on an airplane right now. He changed his photo, Jordan, to Antonio Brown running off the field.
Oh, I saw that. I thought that was a joke. I thought that was
that's real. That's real. He really did that. I'm pretty sure. Not you said you thought it was a joke. It's real. Yeah, so he is out of there, okay?
I saw like someone posted that, like Tyreek changed his picture or whatever. I thought it was just a joke. Like it was just like a joke to be like, oh, like they're making fun of Tyreek, but that's hilarious.
No, it's real.
That's too good.
He's out of there. I think he's gone. He is not going to be a Dolphin. I don't know what the last straw was. I said it seemed like he checked out early this season, and one guy said it seems like he checked out after his wife tried to burn his house down. So I'm not like the whole Miami is a dumpster fire. Okay, so it's.
I honestly, Trent, I think that guy just not making playoffs. He's like I'm not like it's his first time never making playoffs in his career.
Okay, I did not realize that, but yeah, that makes sense.
So he said, because that's how that whole thing started. The whole thing started, they asked him, how does it feel to not make playoffs? And he started that whole thing off with, well, this is my first time not making playoffs, So like he did his I don't like that. I got to figure some stuff out. I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah. So I think the not making playoffs, and I'm going to guess he's a guy who doesn't handle losing well. And he's probably one of those guys who just instead of I'm going to work harder. He probably just blames other people. And he kind of is like the guy will other people. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even know if it's losing per se that's bugging him. I think it's more of losing, but it's I'm not even getting the ball. I'm just out here running, doing a jogathon, and Waddle's not even getting the ball. Tyreek Hill did not go to Miami for Jonnu Smith to be the number one option. Let's be totally honest with that. And I don't know what happened with the game plan to switch that up, because his whole entire career, Tua has not been a guy who really targets the tight ends. And, Jonnu comes in here and just, does pretty solid, I think is the right thing to say. But maybe Jonnu did so well because defenses are focusing on Tyreek Hill. It could be part of the reason as well.
I mean, but also defenses have focused on Tyreek Hill his whole career, and it's never mattered. So
that's true. Yeah. So
he's lost a step. It's possible he's lost a step, and it's possible.
So I want you to check out your sources of who the number one betting favorite is to land Tyreek Hill. Have you looked at this already? So
I have not. I don't know if my book will have it.
I put a post on X that said Jerry Jones said he was going to be all in last year. This year, it's time for him to really be all in. Trade for Tyreek Hill. I used Grok, and it was a nice edit, and it's the thumbnail of this episode. So, I thought we'd jump right into it.
Trent, I have a bunch of different favorites here.
Okay,
it's pretty even across the board.
At one point, Dallas was the favorite. I saw. I can't remember which side it was, but Dallas actually was the favorite. Are they up there still?
Dallas is not on the board on what I'm
Okay.
looking at.
Okay, so they're not on the board anymore. I saw a post that had Dallas, so you
It
can't believe
has like
everything on the internet.
Falcons 5-1, Raiders 5-1, Chargers 5-1, Commanders 5-1.
Yeah, I saw Chargers as the favorite at one point too. But so then Micah Parsons actually tweeted at Tyreek Hill today and said, "Come to Dallas. We have no state income tax, and we could be the fastest duo in the league. Lion needs a cheetah or something, because he calls himself the Lion and Tyreek calls himself the cheetah. So there is a little bit of a recruitment on X as well.
When you have 10 kids to pay child support for, those no state income tax will come in handy.
Oh yeah. So that's why a lot of guys are even saying like the income tax.
But Florida has no state income tax either, so it's not like
either. So like I was talking to one guy, and maybe like Jaguars could be like I don't maybe that's just too much of something he doesn't want to. Maybe he wants to go where there's like a real. There's no way he doesn't. You think there's no way he goes back to Kansas City, right? Because I think he'd have to take a pay cut.
But I don't know if he can afford to take a pay cut.
Dolphins kind of hold like it'd have to be a trade, correct?
Yeah, because when's his contract? I mean, unless they can just cut him.
Well, last year he talked about maybe retiring at like 33 or something. Remember that?
Yeah, he doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to play that long, but I think when you have that amount of kids, I think you kind of.
It looks like he's with Miami till he's 33, 2027. It can't void. I'm trying to look at his player option. He could potentially leave before 2026. So he next year he's guaranteed. So they'd have to trade him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. That also means, where do they want to send him?
No. So he has a roster bonus on March 14th. And then he has a $15 million guaranteed, must be exercised by August 31st. So yeah, maybe they could get rid of him.
Yeah. So it's wild that this could happen again. I don't see him going to the Ravens. For whatever reason, the Ravens don't seem to go after wide receivers in free agency, and they don't really get them really. But it would be interesting to see him in the AFC West catching passes from Justin Herbert playing the Chiefs twice a year. I think that would be a nice spot for him, but the California income tax, I don't think he wants to do that. I think it's a money thing, like you said, too. But he wants a good quarterback. I don't see him going to the Falcons either, though.
That's a favorite, too.
Mm-hmm. So, is it possible Houston makes another splash this year? I don't think they could.
The Commanders make kind of sense from just like a personnel standpoint. Him and Terry McLaurin together with Jaden Daniels, it makes a little bit of sense just like football-wise,
Yeah. Income tax, I think he wants to go with a good quarterback, and then I think he looks at income tax as well. So I just don't know if Dallas does that, even though Parsons is openly recruiting him online. So, and it was a good little post I had there as well. Other news here, we had some coaches get fired today, Jordan. We're going to have our wild card preview. We might throw a best ball draft here at the end. We also, playoff predictions, best ball draft, Tyreek Hill reactions, all that stuff. Doug Peterson, Jordan, were you rejoicing when you found out the news? Did you see it happening?
I wish they would have fired
Trent Baalke or whatever.
Too. Yeah, I wish they would have fired him. But
I was actually surprised they didn't.
The favorite on Bovada to be the head coach of the Jaguars in 25-26 is Ben Johnson. He's pretty much even money. I should know, Anthony Weaver. Is that the who's Anthony Weaver, Trent?
Are you getting him confused with Anthony Lynn?
No, Anthony Weaver is the second favorite at almost 3-1.
I can look him up here real quick.
The name sounds really familiar, but I'm blanking on. Defensive coordinator for the Dolphins.
Yeah, it seems. I was not thinking that one at all.
He was the Ravens defensive line coach he's been with the Ravens the years before. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. And then Joe Brady, Who's Joe Brady coaches where?
He's an offensive coordinator. He used to be. He's with the
Oh,
Bills,
the Bills.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bills. I always it messes me up. I always think Ken Dorsey's the OC for the Bills just because of that, temper tantrum he threw.
I would love for the Jaguars to get Ben Johnson. I think that'd be so awesome. But we'll see if he wants to go where he wants to go.
Where has Ben Johnson? Just spitballing ideas here, and I know that everybody loves Dan Gamble there in Detroit, but is there a possibility that if they don't get it done, they hire Ben Johnson as the head coach there? That's
interesting.
That would be that's what's kind of been in my mind the whole time. I don't know how you get rid of Dan, right? But I think Ben Johnson would be a huge loss to Detroit. If they had something where they lost because they went for it on 4th and 15 on their own 20, do they do something drastic make Ben Johnson the head coach? This is just all, speculation playoff talk, right? We're in the offseason.
And they might lose both their coordinators, Trent. Their defensive coordinator might get how much of their success is
Ben
Dan
Johnson.
Campbell, or how much of it is Ben Johnson? Yeah.
I think Ben Johnson deserves a lot of credit over there in Detroit, and no one wants to, I think people agree with that.
He deserves credit for changing the culture. But if you take away Dan Campbell, let's just say hypothetically, Dan Campbell resigns right now. Something happens,
Yeah.
And Ben Johnson is the coach. Does the outcome of the Lions season change?
I think it'd be similar this year.
If Ben Johnson had to resign right now, would the outcome of the Lions season change?
I think it'd be a little different potentially. I think so.
That probably says all you need to know right there.
Do you agree? Do you agree with me, or am I crazy to think that Ben Johnson?
No, I tend to think, because I think the things that Dan Campbell does, I think is ingrained in their players. The culture set. He doesn't need to be there every day to remind them, But I think their offensive coordinator is really, really good, man.
No,
he's really good at what he does.
Yeah,
he schemes things up so well.
Mm-hmm. Who else is looking at Ben Johnson? I think they said the Jets have basically
the Bears.
Yeah. The Jets have called in every head coach possible except Ben Johnson, is what last I heard. So I don't know if that's even a play. Maybe he just straight up said, I don't want to go there.
I don't think he's interested. I don't think it's what he wants. I think he wants to go to a team that was kind of like how the Lions were 4 years ago. Young quarterback, young skill players, good running backs. I think that's what he's looking for. The Bears do fit that. They have young quarterback, young wide receivers. I think the Jaguars fit that a little bit. I think Trevor Lawrence has shown that he has NFL talent, right? It's just about putting together. They have 2 solid running backs. They have some very talent. They have talent at the wide receiver position. Brian Thomas is an absolute stud. So the line is not probably what he liked for it to be. But I think it's the problem is I think the general manager-ish stuff could come into play. Not firing Balky could come into play when it comes to Ben Johnson and the Jaguars.
Something said, I believe the Jaguars owner said today that if the right coach potentially could get Balky out of there. He mentioned something.
Yeah, he was very it was a weird comment he made, and then Tom, is it Peliciero or I'm probably saying that wrong. I'm trying to blank on Peliciero tweeted that. What did he say? He said that the new coach will report directly to the owner and not the general manager. So
that is,
I don't know.
Yeah. So so key phrase from Khan: I will collaborate with general manager Trent Baalke and others within and close to our organization to hire a leader who shares my ambition and is ready to seize the extraordinary opportunity offer here in Jacksonville. It's
the other thing they mentioned is that it's an attractive job because of how bad the division is. So you do have an opportunity to go in and make the playoffs right away because the division's so bad,
Yeah. No, that is a huge deal to mention there. What about Daboll keeping his job in New York? Did you see that coming? And then there's I think you have to let Daboll. Is it Daboll? Am I saying that wrong? I always butcher his name. Dabo?
Dabble? Yeah, I don't know.
He hasn't been mentioned like he has lately, so I haven't heard his name as much this year. I think you kind of got to give him the opportunity to pick a quarterback he maybe wants in there. Give him a shot to draft a quarterback, even though he's still kind of living off of what happened with Josh Allen. And with how good Neighbors is, get a quarterback in there. They only hurt themselves winning that game 2 weeks ago. And then McCarthy potentially interviewing with the Bears from Dallas.
That's wild.
That's wild to me too.
If McCarthy leaves, you got to think the Cowboys are a favorite for Ben Johnson.
I would think so. I would think so. So if they want to do something like that, they probably need to, make it happen. If I'm McCarthy, though, it's kind of like, hey, I'm getting this opportunity. Like, do I have? It's very rare for a coach to get asked to be interviewed.
You know what else I can
see
the Cowboys do? I can see the Cowboys trying to be a team that trades for Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota.
Yeah. Or Dion.
Dude, Dion, that would be nuts.
The Dion one is the one that I've kind of said for, the last year and a half. Not on this pod.
Did you see that reports are saying that multiple teams don't even have a first-round draft grade on Shedeur Sanders?
I don't see
it with them. So I get it.
I don't. And there's just some weird stuff with Shedeur also, like him yelling at the ball boy at the Texas Tech game. There's just some immaturity stuff or misunderstood, whatever you want to call it, that I just don't. I'm not. I agree with you. I don't know if he's the guy that's ready to be in charge of an NFL franchise.
And the Titans love Cam Ward. This might be, Trent, the worst year to have the number 1 overall pick, or until we need a quarterback. It's horrible.
Unless you just want So here's where I went with Tyreek Hill. Okay, and I'll bring this back. We're talking about McCarthy. If Dallas could go out there, trade for Tyreek Hill, and then draft Genty. It would just be it'd be Christmas in Dallas year round. I just think that offense would be so much fun, fantasy wise as well. And you could still use Rico Dotto a little bit as well. But CeeDee Lamb, Hill, Genty, I probably shouldn't even think about it too much because it's just. And I look like a total dork wearing a Chargers hat talking about what I want the Cowboys to do. So I also need to stop with that as well. But Zeke's a Cowboy though, so. I don't. Yeah, it might be the worst year to have the number 1 overall pick unless you want Travis Hunter, maybe.
Yeah.
And he might not even. So, yeah. But we could jump over to playoffs now. I've been going for 17 minutes here. We got we spitball a little bit longer than I thought we would without those guys, with all the coaching stuff. It's kind of a fun year with all the rumor mill going on. And then Vrabel. I don't know why the Patriots didn't hire Vrabel in the first place last year. I felt like that was who they wanted. Is it pretty set? Vrabel's the guy there?
I would imagine so.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm thinking as well. Do you have any odds here, Jordan, for the playoff?
I got them right here.
I got them right here. And today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Underdog Fantasy, guys. Head over to Underdog, enter promo code DUDES. They'll match you up to $100, guys. They got the DFS. They got the best ball drafts, playoff best ball. We're going to try at the end of this episode, see if we can get to a playoff best ball draft here. What is it, Jordan? It's 6 people, 30 seconds. You're on the clock. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. That sounds right.
You can't make it too big. So we'll do that. Try to get that in. Maybe we can get a draft. It is 10:19 p.m. Pacific time. Seth is watching WWE on Netflix right now. Phil is on his way home from Texas. So if you're wondering where those guys were, So Jordan, you have the odds for all this earlier today. My links did not have odds for this. We are recording on Monday. Going to try to get this out to you guys earlier every week. And Jordan, we are going to be doing a prop show later this week on YouTube as well. So head over to tffdudes on YouTube. Give us a like, give us a sub, and check that out. Jordan, you have the odds for the Texans, Chargers-Texans game?
Yeah, so it looks like the early game, and someone made a comment that the Texans always are the first game for whatever reason.
They are.
Of the weekend. It's very bizarre. I don't know if they have the smallest fan base. I don't know exactly what it is, but we got the Chargers at Texans. Chargers are favored by 3 on the road. It's we got a 42.5 total. So, I'm not surprised by this, to be honest. I think the Texans are the worst. Let me double check that before I say that. I think the Texans are the worst team in playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's... Man, you think they're worse than the Steelers? Yeah, probably, right? Because Steelers
than the Broncos? Yeah, I think they are.
No, I think you're right. And it's weird because I don't think anyone saw this coming, and I think this is it's a bad matchup for the Texans as well. CJ Stroud's not playing very well, but they did get Deontay Johnson, Jordan, so don't count that out. Third team of the year. We'll see if he can make it past halftime this week, or if he even catches a pass. They're kind of in need of something there. Yeah, I personally, I think this is all Chargers. You know, sitting here with my Charger hat on, I think Harbaugh, this is a good, first year win as the Chargers get in playoff going. But you can't ever, underestimate the Chargers, ability to screw things up. That's another thing that you have to just always think about. The Chargers are very good at just absolutely screwing things up. And, speaking of screwing things up, don't screw things up, guys. Head over to YouTube, leave us a comment at tffdudes or Spotify. And we do have these videos on Spotify. You can watch the whole pod on Spotify. Best comment of the month. I'm going to go ahead and give a free hat to you guys. So one of our Fantasy Football Dudes podcast hats. Best comment. I don't know if it makes us laugh. Whatever. Best comment. You figure it out. You get a chance to get a free hat. I'll ship that over to you by giving you a comment. Yeah. So we'll comment back. And you can leave comments on Spotify as well. That helps us out. But what were you thinking, Jordan? What are you looking at?
No, I was just, I think, are you think the Chargers win this game? I think the Chargers
I'm going
win.
Chargers. I have trouble seeing, the Chargers defense and how they run the ball, them losing this game. I think Harbaugh has these guys ready to play. Yeah. And
I'm just, what were you going to say?
No, just going back to Ben Johnson, I think regardless of what happens to the Lions, he has to take a job this offseason. He has to take a head coaching job, because has there ever been a bigger bag dropped in the NFL or bigger fall from glory than the Texans offensive coordinator last year? Remember all the people who wanted to work with him and like all the head coaching job opportunities that, potentially he had out there, and he wanted to stay with CJ Stroud. I don't think anyone's calling this offseason. Not to say, next year.
I just don't see it with them. I don't think they're very good. I think the Chargers, Herbert's kind of in a groove right now, and they've kind of figured some things out. So, and I think it's a better matchup, way better matchup for the Chargers and the Texans. So, I got, like you said, I got Chargers as well.
Yeah. Well, now it's like this Texans OC might be without a job even this offseason if this goes bad enough. Like, would that shock you? I think you got to give him another offseason, but it's just probably with a young quarterback, got to keep, verbiage and everything pretty similar. So, I won't go into that much more. But, I'm going Chargers win this game. Do have a decent amount of Texans fans that listen to this, but I'm not really sorry. I got to rep the hat. All right, what we got next, Jordan? We're going all AFC on Saturday, huh? That's kind of a common thread, I think.
So we got 5:00 Pacific time, 8:00 Eastern. The Steelers at the Ravens. Man, that's a late game over there. Steelers at the Ravens. With the biggest favor on the board, Ravens favored by 10, total of 43.5. So, man, the Steelers got to have a pretty low implied team total there. This seems pretty straightforward to me. I think the Steelers are the second worst team in the playoffs. So, I got Ravens. I mean, they're playing so well right now. Lamar Jackson's locked in. Derrick Henry just continues to get there. He finds a way. It might be garbage time. It might be whatever. And I think Derrick Henry, I think he tore through the Steelers defense a couple weeks ago, didn't he?
I was kind of looking for that. When was the last time they played?
They played it was the Saturday before Christmas, wasn't it?
Okay, so no, they played
because
okay, yes, they played December 21st, and they 34-17. Yeah, and then they played November 17th, and they won that game. The first time they played, the Steelers actually won 18-16. Jordan, I believe that was the game where Russell Wilson had the rainbow throw to what's his name, Mike Williams. the big rainbow in there in the corner of the end zone. So Steelers did beat them once. I think the Ravens.
No, Trent. The Steelers had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 field goals in that game.
Okay, that was that game. Sorry, that was when the Steelers beat who'd they beat in that game? Was that the Bengals when that happened, or was that the?
I don't know.
I thought that was the Ravens, one of them, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so yeah, I think you got to go Ravens here with Derrick Henry, with Lamar Jackson. You just got to. I think they find a way to get this done. This will be
I agree.
Even though a couple weeks ago I tweeted that I had the Pittsburgh Steelers upsetting the Kansas City Chiefs in playoffs, but they were playing a lot better football when I tweeted that. There is some bookmarks on that tweet, so if you did that, you can go back and make fun of me for that one, because that one is not looking like that is going to come true. What do we got next here, Jordan?
Yeah, so first game on Sunday, we got at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Pacific time. We got the Broncos at the Bills. Buffalo's favored by 8.5, 47 total. We got the second biggest favorite on the board in the Bills. Man, I think it's pretty straightforward to me, Bills, but I do think the Broncos could give the Bills some trouble. Like, not really trouble, but might push them. Probably more than the Steelers pushed the Ravens, I think.
I don't like the matchup.
But again,
I
just don't see them winning. Yeah, I mean, dude, Denver's playing really well. Bo Nix, I mean, did we get anything more wrong this offseason than Bo Nix, Trent? I did. You kind of liked him a little more than I did.
I kind of liked him. I've always been a Sean Payton fan, even though with the stuff that happened with Russell Wilson. I didn't see Bo Nix coming out guns blazing like he did his rookie season. I will say that. I thought, but an old quarterback, coming, like it's the guy's like a little bit younger than Justin Herbert, right, for a rookie. So I didn't see him coming out of the gate like this. No, especially with what'd been nice is if they had Jerry Jeudy still. That'd be really nice if the Broncos had Jerry Jeudy. But I don't think anyone who is a Broncos fan saw that happening. I was just wondering what the weather's going to be like in this game. I'm not hearing anything of I know there is some snow on the East Coast. I haven't heard anything about Buffalo having like the mafia come in there and, scoop snow out of the seats. But I saw their new stadium without the dome, but it's going to have all the fans will be, I think 60% of the fans will be covered from the weather and the elements. So, and it's going to get really loud in there with how it's the shape of it. So it looks pretty cool.
Trent, I am seeing Sunday temperatures upper 20 with winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Models suggest pretty much no flurry, like no snow. So it should be pretty normal weather, it looks like.
Yeah. So, yeah, and it looked like Keon Coleman might be coming on here, maybe Amari Cooper. Like I think they've kind of been saving Amari Cooper for when they actually need him in these games. I think that's going to be coming up. So I have Bills winning this one, but it would not shock me if the Bills push them to the limit. I think the 8-point favorite is too big in my opinion. But you have a rookie quarterback making his first playoff game too, so.
I tend to agree with kind of what you said. Like I tend to lean Denver to cover, but I think it's too big. Like 8.5 seems too wide to me. Like,
but how good the Broncos defense is. This is Josh Allen
good
at
defense
home in playoffs.
Yeah, but and just how well they're playing. So I do think the Broncos will probably not run the ball very well. So you're going to see Bo Nix drop back a ton. So I don't know.
The Bills can be ran on though, but that's not the Broncos' strength.
It's not their strength.
Yeah, that's the problem. So, yeah. All right. So I'm going Bills. We'll have those other guys send their picks in with that for playoffs. What do we have next here, Jordan?
We got the middle game on Sunday, 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. We got the Green Bay Packers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles favored by 4, 45.5 total. Man,
Jalen Hurts hasn't cleared concussion protocol yet, right?
I know. I tend to think he plays, right?
I think so.
Do you tend to think he plays?
I think he plays because of that line.
Yes, I agree. I think the line would be is Jordan Love playing though?
I don't know. Like,
so it's like, again, we're early in the week. Like, we have a long way to go. I don't think either of us have really it's Monday. So, we haven't dived in a ton of these games. It's kind of like a first look, right? Trying to first look at these games. So,
an early peek.
Yeah. I tend to think, let me see if they have any props up for any of these guys. That would also tell me.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah,
we have passing props up for Jalen Hurts. Nothing for Jordan Love. So I would assume that means Jalen Hurts probably going to play. The Jordan Love stuff, I think there's a little more of a question mark. We don't have passing props up for Jordan Love.
Yeah, I saw. So, everyone's been really hard on Caleb Williams this year. Did you see that of the comp of him to Jordan Love? The stats for the season? I'm looking for
it
here,
I didn't.
But their stats are very comparable. And no one
Jordan Love has not had that great of a year.
No. Well, and I did a YouTube short on Josh Jacobs being, fantasy MVP last week, and I said the Packers haven't been that good outside of Josh Jacobs, and I had a couple of Packer fans get angry with me, but it's kind of true. Like, the TDs for Jordan Love haven't been there. He's thrown a lot of interceptions. It's it's not ideal. So I think Jalen Hurts plays. I think we have a big Saquon Barkley game. And I don't see the Packers making the run they made last year.
No.
In the playoffs.
I don't think
unless Jordan Love just turns it on. And not that he's been a huge factor, but Christian Watson tore his ACL, so he's out as well. But maybe that makes it better for the Packers having less, guys to throw to. Maybe that helps the props more. Maybe for our prop show we target Jayden Reed a little bit more with Christian Watson being out. Jayden Reed's been very frustrating. I had people asking why he wasn't dead of the year, because, or a pick you wish you could have redone. That's an award we should do next year. Is there a guy on your team you wish you would have traded? I think that would be a good award. Like, yeah, you could have traded Jayden Reed, week 6 of the NFL, and you could have got a lot for him. You probably could have got a haul. And, you kept him and you got nothing for it, so it's like, it's all about trading these guys at the right time. So I think I'm going to add that to the list, a player you wish you could have traded. Okay. I'm going Eagles win this one. Or have we gone home team every single game, Jordan? Like, it doesn't seem like this is, with the expansion of more wildcard teams, the wildcard games have kind of made a run the last, like the Packers made a big run last year. I can't remember.
No, we took the Chargers, Trent. Took the Chargers. They're
They're
not. They're a road.
Yeah.
We took all favorites so far.
Okay.
But that's going to change for me, I think, in this next game. We got the Sunday night game, the Commanders at the Buccaneers. Buccaneers favored by 3. Highest total on the board at 50 total.
They should not do Monday Night Football during playoffs, to me, in my opinion. I don't think you should do the last game.
That Monday night game is going to be awesome, but
it is going to be awesome. It is a good game, yeah.
I think Commanders win this game, Trent.
What was the line? Who's favored?
Bucks are favored by 3. 50 total.
Yeah, Mike.
I think we see points in this game. I think we could see a shootout. And I think the Commanders win here. Like, the Bucs did not look great last week in a must-win game. I know they figured it out, but Baker did not look good.
I wonder if there's some, like, this is a lame excuse. Is there some pressure on Baker where, like, I have to get Mike Evans that 1,000-yard season? He came up short too. You know what I mean? Like, there's something where it's like I got to pepper him a little bit more.
He got it.
Oh, I thought he was like short. I thought he was like 5 yards short. Because Bucky, maybe he ended up getting again, but Bucky Irving ran that touchdown in. And
no, Trent, you didn't see what happened? Are you the one whose head's been in the sand?
Maybe my hand was in the sand here. I just saw the thing with Baker Mayfield.
They got the ball back. And instead of taking a knee, they got Mike Evans 5 yards.
Okay. Yes.
They threw it instead of taking a knee.
Okay.
And the whole team went nuts.
Okay. Yeah.
The whole team went crazy.
I missed Baker's interview, so I misheard how he said it then after, because he said what was it? He said we'd have to play another 13 years. That's what he said. That was the part I said. Bucky Irving not sliding. After the game, Baker said I'd have to play another 13 years with Mike if that would have happened.
Yes. Yes. So basically, they got the ball back. They went 4 and out. They got the ball back with 45 seconds.
And
instead of taking a knee, they went 5 wide and got him the ball, and he ran for 5 yards. And then the whole team went crazy.
So this is basically this is the
$3 million bonus.
Yeah. No, I know. Everybody calls me a boomer though. And it's the Mike Evans $3 million bonus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone calls me a boomer on this take. I had people coming at me about Mike Ditka. This is another example of, adding the extra game, how this stuff changes. You know what I'm saying? Especially with Mike Evans did get injured for a little bit, right? But
yeah,
he missed, that extra game,
few games.
I had a ton of people come after me because I always put it, in X just for the reactions, right? But they congratulated Brock Bowers on his breaking the rookie single season record. And I said Ditka did it in less games. And everybody told me they did it in the same games. But no, Ditka did it in 14 games. They only had 14 games back then.
So
in a league that didn't pass as much. I know the league's more talented now, but it was a running league.
Did you see that if Saquon, since we're talking about this, if they had played Saquon on Sunday and he had broke Dickerson's record, right?
Yeah.
That
it was less
that it
carries.
Actually would have been it would have been a legit break of the record.
I got called out for this a lot. I got called out for this a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the reason I know.
He even though it would have been more games, it was less carries. So it would have been a legitimate breaking the record.
Yeah.
Because ultimately the games don't matter, the carries matter, right?
Yeah, no, that's the next you go to.
Same thing with the quarterbacks, right? If the quarterbacks ever break a yards record, it will be about they do it in less attempts,
Yeah.
So
yeah. So no, that one was. Did you see the fan there with the sign here to watch Saquon break Dickerson's record or whatever? It just said someone needs to tell this guy. He was in the front row. It said here, drove 1,000 miles to watch Saquon break the record or for history.
That's funny.
But yeah. So I'm. Going,
what do you think, Trent, in this game? I got the Commanders one. You think the Commanders?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Bucks. I'm just gonna keep going with the. I'm gonna go with the favorite here as well. I'm going to go with the veteran quarterback over the rookie. This might be the best game. This could be a big shootout.
I just think Jaden Daniels could tear it apart. I just think they could shred this secondary. So
what do you think about all the people saying that Jaden Daniels deserves MVP? I think it's a valid point.
They've lost too many games.
But you take them off that team, they don't make playoffs. But you're right. They've lost a lot of games. But the stats are there.
Hey,
without Jaden Daniels, they are nothing.
I have a Jaden Daniels MVP bet, so I mean, I would love that. I just don't think it happens.
You did a Jaden Daniels MVP bet? What were the? When did when?
I have
preseason.
No, I did it
okay.
4 games in.
Okay,
4 games in.
That's not as crazy to me. But if you did this preseason, I'd be like, wow, Jordan, that's impressive. He's actually.
Well, I can tell you what the odds were when I made the bet. I think it was, let me look real quick. Scroll a little bit. 40-1.
Okay.
I made the bet on. Oh, it doesn't tell me, I guess. Oh yeah, September 30th. So what would that be? Week 4? Week 2? Week 3?
Yeah, your September 9th was week 1. I just know that because that's my
so
birthday.
about 3 weeks in.
Yeah.
3 weeks in. So
trust me, I'm not that crazy to know what week 1 is. I promise. I actually think my wife's birthday is September 8th. So just maybe I'll edit that out. Yeah, it's a bad story. Okay, have I told you what happened with this?
No, I don't.
Should I share this?
I don't know if you should.
Well, my brother-in-law told me my wife's birthday was September 5th, right before we started dating, and it's not September 5th. So that's the date that's been in my mind. So I've had to relearn it, and it's September 8th. It is September 8th. So it is September 8th. But
Hopefully your wife does not watch this episode.
And by far, this is the dumbest thing I've said on the pod, and I did talk about Mike Evans. So yeah.
Trent. Last game? You want to get to the last game here?
Let's go to the last one here. Then we'll jump into that. Try to get into a best ball draft, hopefully.
Okay, so we got the Vikings at the Rams. Monday Night Football, like you alluded to earlier. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific time. This is the closest game we have on the board as far as the spread, the money line. Minnesota favored by 1.5 on the road. 47 total. So second, tied with the Broncos and the Bills for second highest total on the 6 games. This is a tough one for me, Trent. I don't. The Vikings looked really bad against the Lions. The Rams are playing good football. They got a week off to rest. Man, I could see Puka and I'm not.
Don't you dare say Cooper Kupp. Don't you dare.
But I could see Puka just tearing the secondary apart. Man, Gibbs looked really good. This line, I mean, against the Vikings, I could see Kyron having a good game. I don't know. At home, do the Vikings, the darlings of the year, do they fall in the first round? I don't know, Trent. I don't know about this. I don't know what to do here.
We went to SoFi, Jordan, and it was a Chargers game. Did you feel like that place like just screams home field advantage to you? Like
no, it doesn't.
It's a cool stadium, but let's be honest. SoFi's a club. They have like the DJ going. It's not a place where you really hear. But
Trent, we also went for a Chargers game. We went for a Chargers game.
It's a little different.
I assume the Rams might be a little bit different.
The Rams get out. There's more 49er fans when the Rams play the 49ers there, though. You know what I mean? Like it's not known for home field advantage there.
And there is a lot of Vikings fans kind of everywhere. So
I don't.
Man,
now if this was in Philadelphia, if this was in, like just a little bit more of like a better fan base, like LA, even though they won the Super Bowl, it's still kind of they're a little new there, even though that's their second tour. But I just don't know the home field advantage. The Vikings generally are good against running backs. I know Kyron's good. Darnold has to, back-to-back primetime games. Darnold's kind of playing for a extension, big contract. Yeah. Like he needs you also have Justin. This Rams defense has just put the clamps on the last couple of weeks. So like this is a good defense. Like it would not surprise me if the Rams, make a little playoff run here with Stafford and everything. I think I want the Vikings. I want Justin Jefferson to make a run. I want Sam Darnold to make a run. I think this Rams defense is good, though.
So you're taking the Rams.
I'm going to take the Rams here at home. Not like I said, not that home matters, but at this scenario. But I think the Rams win. I think they're playing too good of football. And
I'm gonna.
O'Donnell's the McVay passing tree, right? O'Donnell's from McVay's passing or coaching.
O'Connell,
tree?
I think.
Or is he Shanahan? Sure. He might be Shanahan.
I think he's Shanahan. But I am going to take the Vikings, Trent. I'm just gonna bet on the fact the Vikings have been so good all year. They're probably still a good football team. And I think they don't lose 2 in a row here.
Mm-hmm.
And to your question, he is with the Rams. He was the Rams offensive coordinator. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So there's so they both probably, know each other decently well, with stuff like defensively and stuff like that. So this game seems like a coin flip to me more than any of them almost.
Yeah. I mean, it's the biggest
the best game
on the board. Yeah.
It's just with how good the Rams defense has been playing, and it's going to kind of tick me off if Cooper Kupp just goes bananas on Monday Night Football here.
That's probably exactly what's going to happen. John.
Yeah, it's exactly, just rub some salt in all of the, fantasy owners' wounds there. So that is all of our playoff predictions there. The other guys will send ours in. Should we try to jump into Underdog Best Ball Draft here, Jordan?
Yeah, you want to see what the weight is? See maybe if it goes.
Yeah. Let's check it out real quick. All right. Unfortunately, guys, we are not able to get an Underdog draft in right now for all of playoffs unless me and Jordan just want to draft against ourselves. So we'll wait and probably have to do that on our own or get on a little earlier in the day to do something like that. Me and Jordan will have a prop show coming out on Friday, so you won't want to miss that, guys. And we'll have some of our favorite plays. Maybe Seth will jump on too. So I think that does it, guys. Thanks for tuning in as always. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks, for the fun season, for tuning in. We will see you next time, guys. And as always, take care.
This has been another episode of the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. Remember to rate, review, and follow. For more information, go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. And remember, we are sorry for absolutely nothing.